Marine Corps sniper school is held in high regard. It's like a 75% attrition rate. They hold a very high standard. When you go to a sniper platoon, that's all you do is train as a sniper. The Marine Corps snipers are the best in the entire military, for sure. I ended up trying out for Stay Platoon, which is the sniper platoon in the battalion. They don't even have sniper platoons anymore. But Stay was what it was used to call. It was like target acquisition. I forget, and I'm drawing a blank on the S. But either way, I tried out for that. That was about a month and a half long screening just to get into that platoon. And that's very rigorous, and they beat you down for a month and a half. But they're also training you at the same time. Spent a lot of time in the field, just learning the craft of being a sniper. And then once you get into that platoon, the platoon is mixed up with actual snipers who went to sniper school, and then guys awaiting to go to sniper school at some point. So the snipers are called hogs. The guys that haven't gone are called pigs. So I was a pig, but I was a corpsman for the platoon. And then the older guys liked me a lot because of how motivated I was and just like how into it I was. And they were like, hey, we'll give you a slot. We'll let you go through sniper school as the medic, but you'll be able to go through the whole course. You just won't get credit for it because it's a very Marine Corps sniper school is held in high regard. And I was fine with that. I was like, at the time, I was like, hey, anything that's going to better me when I get to, BUDS, or when I go to BUDS and just becoming a SEAL. And I was like, this is a perfect opportunity. So I went through Marine Corps sniper school, ended up graduating from there. Right before then, 9/11 had kicked off. So that was sort of changed everything. I went through there, and then we ended up deploying on a ship, and then 1/8 went into Iraq for a short stint during that time. That was during the initial invasion. Nothing really huge happened. It was just eye-opening. It's like, okay, we're at war. And then we came back. Right when we came back from that deployment is when I left and went to BUDS and began my SEAL career.
In the book, you'd mentioned that the Marine Corps sniper school is considered the best sniper school in the world. What makes it so difficult or so good?
I think it's just the Marine Corps, like I talked about before. Marine Corps sniper school is held in very high regard in the Marine Corps. It's like a 75% attrition rate going through there. They hold a very high standard when it comes to doing that job. And the Marine snipers, which they don't exist right now because they sort of did away with them, but I think they'll bring them back. I mean, it's ridiculous that they don't. That is your bread and butter. So when you go to a sniper platoon, that's all you do is train as a sniper. Everything that entails being a sniper, field craft and shooting and stalking, and you're doing that all the time. So you are becoming a master at that craft. In the special operations, yes, you can be a sniper, but you are also a breacher, a medic, that you have a bunch of other jobs that, so you're like a jack of all trades, master of none. So that's why I consider, and I know the Marine Corps snipers are the best in the I think, entire military, for sure.
What goes into being a sniper? Because I think a lot of us just think great marksmanship and that's it. Like, what else is there to it?
Shooting's the easy part, right? Everything like field craft, mission planning, stalking, observation drills, keeping memory drills, like memorizing everything, obviously, back then it was, I don't know what they're doing now, but call for fire, learning how to do that. You're getting used to operating in a two-man team, going out, behind enemy lines or in the front line, beyond the front lines to gather information and report back. Learning how to report back, learning how to gather information, learning how to pass that information off to the higher ups so they can get a picture of the battle space or what you're looking at. And then at the end of the day, yes, it comes down if you need to take that shot. So you need to be very good, not pulling the trigger is easy. It's the calling wind, knowing, where to set your dope or all that stuff is, that's a little bit, you got to be a little bit more skilled. But anybody can get behind a scoped rifle if it's doped in and be like, hey, point the reticle at that. Nice steady still trigger squeeze. Bing. All right, awesome. You hit at 1,000 yards. But it's everything else that entails is what makes a sniper a sniper.
Amongst other snipers, like what's the sort of what was the thing that you guys would talk to each other about? Like if you'd done something impressive, like was it a distance thing? Was it a circumstances thing? Like was there something that was like held in high regard amongst the highly skilled snipers?
I mean, it's always, longest shot.
Longest shot.
Like, yeah, who smoked somebody or at the longest shot, or they were on the move, or or just in general how many people you got. That's always held in high regard. But it's or just being able to sneak into a position, set up without getting compromised, and then be able to leave that position without being, knowing anybody you were there, I guess is cool. But honestly, like well into the war, nobody was like, we weren't doing like these covert sniper operations where it's like we're sneaking. It was like, dude, you show up, it's game on, they're shooting at you, and then you're like winging sniper rounds back at them. But I think, obviously body count is always held in high regard, but that doesn't, if the more, like higher your body count or whatever, like you get these kills, you realize pretty quick that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't make you more of a badass or like more of a man or more of like whatever. It's just like, it's part of the job. And yes, you should be wanting to take the enemy off the battlefield, but that doesn't make you any better than another guy that could be just as skilled as you that didn't have the chance to shoot somebody.
Yeah, I mean, with that being said, was there anyone whose name would sort of ring around, like, oh, this guy is like that stood way above everybody else, or was it not?
Well, in the SEAL teams, I mean, obviously they made a movie about Chris Kyle. That was, the legend, I guess, in the teams. But there's plenty of guys.
It's not spoken about.
Yeah, that aren't spoken about. There are dudes that have done twice, quadruple as much that you wouldn't hear, you wouldn't know about it, nor do they want you to know about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are guys that take that craft seriously and they really nerd out on it and really focus in on it. I'm talking about in the SEAL teams. But in the Marine Corps, dude, those are the best snipers because that is what they are focused on 24/7. That is their job to go out and do that.
As many of you know, we are independent creators and filmmakers, but there is a massive attack on us right now. Traditional media over the last few years has started to slowly die. They are no longer the independent voice that you first thought they were. That's why we've created Mulligan Brothers Patreon. We've built something special for our most dedicated supporters, and I want to break it down for you real quick. The supporter tier gets you ad-free early access to both video and audio versions of Mulligan Brothers interviews 24 hours before it goes public. The executive tier gets you everything that a supporter tier gets, plus more. Exclusive interviews and behind the scenes content, walk and talks, daily routines, unreleased interviews, the stuff that you don't see anywhere else. And finally, the executive producer tier. Everything from the supporter tier and the executive tier, plus exclusive perks. Access to our treatment packages. Be the first to see which guests are coming up and get insight into the topics we'll be discussing before anyone else. And you'll even get an executive producer credit on every single documentary that we make. So if you've ever wanted to support the Mulligan Brothers mission of inspiring change so we can go around the world and get these stories that nobody else will, this is exactly how you do it. Go to patreon.com/Mulligan Brothers or click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. Join the community and help us inspire change.